Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramahangam Krishnam Bhande Jagatguru. So we are saying that Sri Krishna is answering the question of Arjuna, that when Sri Krishna mentions about a yogi or about a perfect being, in a way, Shankaracharya, while commenting on the qualities of this great person, was Stita Prajna, one whose Prajna, one whose Dhi, one whose Buddhi is steady. Steady in what? Steady in the self. Very beautifully Shankaracharya says, those which are qualities of this great person is spiritual practice for us. So these qualities which we form, one who renounces all the desires, is the quality of this person who is free from desires. Now, are these only words, or this is something practical? Are these only description in the scripture, or this is a fact, or these qualities we find being reflected in great people? Whomsoever we call saints, prophets, incarnations, according to Hinduism, just by telling I am so and so, you don't become that. If someone says that I am a saint, you don't say yourself a saint. Let others say that you are a saint or not. Because there are these qualities which will be manifested in that person. It has nothing to do with his or her social status. I mean, whether you are a householder or a monk. Because again, to be a householder or to be a monk is a social status which you take on yourself. And because of that becomes karma. And karma in itself has no capacity to reveal the self. Unless karma is done nishkama, and by nishkama karma you purify your mind, from that respect karma could be responsible for realization of the self. But technically karma is not capable to make you realize. Why? In general, karma is a production of desire. And desire is the production of ignorance. How ignorance can give you knowledge? How the fruits of ignorance can give you knowledge? From that respect, it is said that karma cannot make you realize the truth. But again, the same karma, when done without any desires, without any selfish motive to fulfill one's own desire, your desire to do good to others and to fulfill your own desire is two different things. People say that also is a desire, that I want to do good to people. Yeah, Logically, you can say it is a desire. But do you keep those two desires in the same basket? I want to do good to people and I want to steal money. These two are not the same desire. Sri Ramakrishna that's why says, to have a desire to have devotion for God, even if it's a desire, it is not considered as a desire, because desire means that it binds you. So those desires who makes you free. That desire is not a desire. So avidya, kama, karma. From ignorance, desire takes place. Why? What is ignorance? Ignorance about the self. That I am Atman, that I am the self. Because of that ignorance, you identify yourself with the body. And because of that, your bodily desires are there. And when you have a desire, with the help of your senses, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, that is 5 senses of knowledge and 5 senses of action. Karma Indriya, Jnana Indriya. With the help of these senses, you fulfill the desires of your mind. Just now today I was seeing there is a short term called PLR, past life regression. I was thinking when I was hearing that audio or video, whatever you do, for example, if there is a camera here, or this camera is there, whatever I do or speak is being recorded. In the same way, whatever small or big thing we do is being recorded within yourself. We don't have memory of many things, but we do have memory of many things. In the same way, there is something which is recorded. There must be a huge hard disk somewhere where all the millions of people, everybody's desire is being, everybody's action is being recorded as such. As I was telling the other day, read the book called Many Lives, Many Masters. And it does say that. And he said that Brian Weiss is a psychiatrist in a Florida University hospital. Became very famous because of this. He had a patient who used to suffer depression and relationship issues and all that. So he as a psychiatrist told that we can do this regression. We take you to the childhood, which otherwise you don't think, but it is recorded. So it is, those who do the computer business, they know. You cannot find, but it is all there somewhere in the memory. You don't see even in your hard disk because you don't have eyes to see. They can go there and see. Every click you do is recorded somewhere. Every click. In the same way, every action we do, small or big, is recorded. Where it is recorded, not recorded in this term, in the way we think recording. But there are many other psychiatric proofs that it is there in yourself. So this PLR or past life regression, a person goes to that state and remembers and explains what he or she had in the previous life. And there could be a method of going one by one lives. As many lives you have, all recording is there. So read this book called Many Lives, Many Masters. This Brian Wei's client, he puts her in this hypnotherapy session and does the regression. She not only goes to her own childhood, but she goes many lives before. And many sessions takes place, and in various lives descriptions she gives while sitting, while in that hypnotic state. And it's all recorded, and he has written a book, one of the most award-winning book. But eventually he comes to this conclusion that what all this means. Because of your karma you are this today, because of karma you do today you will be something tomorrow. Then of course he says exactly what our scripture says, you are not here for enjoyment, you are here to gain knowledge of yourself. And very interesting, terrible recordings are there which we cannot even think of. The person goes 2,000-3,000 years before, in Egypt somewhere or in America somewhere. What we are discussing is this, that if we know, for example, many places you will find, we also have written one or two places, the surveillance camera is on, so you are careful. When you go out, only MRTs and supermarkets, everywhere there are cameras. And the cameras make people alert. If you are driving and speed camera ahead, so you become alert. Why we are talking is just to be alerted. Not that somebody else will come to know, or police will come to know, or your relatives will come. It's not a question of being afraid of people, not from that point of view. But this karma leaves a mark on your mind. And that is not going to leave you in this life or next life. So only way is to think, to discriminate, and to reduce your desires. Ignorance is that I am the self, but I have no knowledge about it. That is ignorance. So if I am not the self, what I am the non-self, which is body, mind, etc. And body, mind's incompleteness will raise the desires in your mind to be more perfect. Whenever you fulfill your desire, you feel a kind of contentment, you feel a kind of completeness, you feel a kind of peace, whatever, by any small or big enjoyment. If you have a desire to eat sweet, when you eat sweet, why you are happy? You feel completed. I had a desire and the desire is fulfilled. That's why that happiness comes. In the same way, the dearth is because of ignorance. So this ignorance brings desire, and as soon as you have desire, you cannot fulfill your desire without the body. So you, with the help of your senses, there is a sweet and I want to eat that sweet. Without the help of my senses, I cannot eat. Eyes have to see it, nose has to smell it, tongue has to taste it, Feet has to go there, hand has to pick it up. These are karmendriyas and gyanendriyas. With the help of your senses, to get the sense object for your enjoyment, thinking that this will make me happy. That's all. That is the whole psychology behind. We do have experiences that we desire, we try, we get, we enjoy, still we suffer, till there is a frustration. And you will find end of the day that you try, keep on enjoying for years and decades, the mind doesn't seem to be completely fulfilled. Dharmaraja Yudhishthira says in Mahabharata, whatever is there to be enjoyed in this world, of any of the senses, whatever is there to be enjoyed, as big quantity you can think of, is not sufficient even for one person. One individual cannot be satisfied, even if you give everything to that person. That's why Sri Krishna uses a word, Mahashano. Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava, Maha-ashana, Maha-papma. It will make you commit sins. Vitti enam iha vairinam. Consider them as enemies, it will ruin you. Who doesn't have desires? All of us have desires. Some desires you think, discriminate mentally and nullify. Oh no, I don't think I should be taking that. But there are some desire, you succumb to that. With the help of your senses, you enjoy those objects of enjoyment. With that you have a happiness or suffering, happiness or misery out of that. And that we need to discriminate. Look at the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna said, I have a desire to have a very expensive shawl. So Mathur Babu was there. Oh, you have a desire? Okay, I will fulfill your desire. Sri Ramakrishna put up the shawl and said, oh my mind, this is expensive shawl. Threw it on the ground and started trampling over it. Immediate understanding, analyzing your happiness and desires. As a human being, one part of us wants to enjoy, another part of us is judging that fulfillment of desire. And the whole experience, that other part of you is analyzing, discriminating, and finding whether this was worth or not. Many experiences you will find. Oh, I do get happiness out of it, but the suffering which comes with that effort is not worth putting, because there is little of happiness but lot of misery is there. Because nobody wants misery, that is very sure. Many objects of enjoyment, or rather most of the, or rather all the objects of enjoyment, if you want to avoid the misery, you may have to avoid that small happiness also. If you take one, you have to take other. Two sides of the same coin. There is no action which 100% is happiness. There is no object which is 100% miserable. Swami Vivekananda even says this. Even 99% misery is there in that enjoyment. It comes to you with a crown of that 1%. hey, I am happiness, accept me. And we fall for it. For that 1% of happiness, you suffer 99% of misery. There is a song in Bengali which Swami Vivekananda had sang on the last day of his life. There are 2-3 songs which on the last day, routine, out of all the reminiscences people have made, what he did on the last day. There is one Hindi bhajan of Mirabai and there is one Bengali bhajan. In Bengali bhajan very beautifully, the writer says, or the poet says, that, oh mother, you gave me a bitter fruit, telling me that it is sweet. Now I tasted it, thinking that it is sweet, but my whole day, or my whole life has gone with a bitter taste in my mouth. Mithar lobe teto mukhe sara dinta gel. The whole day is whole life. Whole life I have passed with a bitter taste in my mouth, thinking that it will bring sweetness to me. Beautiful song. That there is a word which is used in 2 meanings of the same word called asha. Asha has 2 meanings. Though when you write, one is asa and another is asha. One is to come and one is expectation or desire. So I came to this world with so many desires. I wanted to fulfill the desires. And the misery comes with the crown of happiness, as Swamiji says. Things at a glance is different. It's like a what do you call it? It is like that, not duplicate, imitation. It's like an imitation jewelry. It looks so beautiful. Oh, it must be very expensive. No, it is just $2. Then you come to, oh, there is nothing. But at a glance it is so expensive. But really it is not so. So, this person who has these qualities which makes him or her a perfected being who has understood the clear picture and lives the life accordingly. It's like somebody has experienced certain kind of business and you want to start that business. So nowadays you will find there are many courses you attend so that you know the pros and cons of this business. So you don't fall for a imaginary profit. So you save yourself from all the problems. Many times you experience it, you see it, you feel it, but it is not there. Let me give you an example. We have a friend, many friends are doctors, this particular friend. So, a patient came to the doctor and she had a huge tumor here on the shoulder, this area of the body, underarm and all that. And it was, according to him, that Swamiji, we all said, all the doctors, neurologists and orthopedic and all of us said, and all of us came to conclusion, the only way for her to survive is to amputate, to remove that hand from shoulder itself. So all consent was taken from the relatives, the person herself, operation was done. So the hand is removed. Next morning, the lady is complaining, sir, do something. What? No, I am feeling itchy on my hand. There is no hand there. There is no hand. But she feels itchy. Because the brain is still thinking that the hand is. I don't know. Many of you may have this example, may have heard. This is called phantom's limbs. This is imaginary limb. It is not there, but still you feel. In the history, especially history of Rajasthan, we have examples of the kings or the warriors that the enemy has removed the head is down already. And the person is already, head is cut, lying somewhere in the field. The warrior is on the horse and still he fights. He literally fights. But there is no head, there is no eyes, there is no ear, nothing. There is another technical term which I am forgetting. A lady feels that she is pregnant. All external symptoms are there, but there is nothing inside. So doctor says, we have done all kinds of that, there is nothing inside. No, I feel. Everything, externally everything is visible, actually it is not so. So what we are telling is that there are many objects of enjoyment. In reality may not be that, but appearance says that it is. It is easy to say when you do it for other animals. Because we are human beings, from human perspective it is difficult to accept. From the traps we use for the rats and the traps which are used for elephants, eventually it's a trap. And why they are called trap? Because the poor animal doesn't understand. Similarly, traps are there for human being. We don't understand. But when you are trapped, then your misery starts, and you want to be free from that as anybody would do. An intelligent person is who? An intelligent person is he or she who is able to discriminate. Therefore you will see in the beginning of few pages itself of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna says, vichara, thinking, discrimination. You must have every step of your life, just give a thought for a few seconds at least, before you do anything. You are free to do, which is legally, morally you are supposed to. But for that too, you take a moment's stop and think about it. All the problems in the society mostly happens because people do not think before they speak. Every time when you speak, earlier all of us have the same experience. When you are inebriated, intoxicated in a way, when you are too much happy, you start speaking something that will say, better I should not have spoken this. Before you speak, you take a pause and think whether I should speak or not. Before you send a message, think whether you should send or not. Though latest something is there, within few seconds you can delete even if you have sent the message. But it's not permanent. You can't think after one day that let me cancel, you cannot. So in the same way, words are like arrows. Once you have shooted the arrow, you can't take it back. All the big problems are because of the words. You will find all the debates goes on. Is he told like this, he told like this, he told like this, he told like this. A simple opinion, now you cannot even, no need to speak also. A simple Twitter or a Facebook or somewhere you send a message itself is enough for proof that you have spoken, you think like this. Few years before an incident happened. what I am telling is, before we do any karma, stop for a while and think whether you should. Is it needed to do or not? Somewhere I have to remove all the nouns and adjectives so that we are safe. A person was working on a foreign mission. So the work was over after 6 or 8 months. So the boss told that you can return now. Our work is done. So after 6 or 8 months, that person is returning back to his or her country. Was very happy. In that happiness, the person sent a message, WhatsApp message, to his or her friend. At last I am free from ... Whether country or people or black or white or this or that, whatever. Before the flight landed, police were ready to arrest. There is a racial discrimination, sexual discrimination, this, that and all that. Why I am giving this example is, we can avoid many miseries just by taking a pause before you speak, before you act, before you do something. So, who is wise person? Wise person is that who is able to understand this. So Sri Krishna answers by the second shloka. First shloka he told this, that one who has renounced the desires and one who is happy, contented within himself or herself. Then he says, one who doesn't get depressed when misery comes. When you say I am miserable, when you say I am in pain, when you say I am in discomfort, either it is physical discomfort, physical pain, then one kind of discrimination comes. That this will pass. I will take some medicine. You think like that and be free. If it is a mental pain, mental agony, then another kind of discrimination is there. Many times people come and say, oh, my brother passed away, my father passed away. So, we don't tell with a dry Vedanta, the whole world is like a dream, what is there to cry for you? You cannot say immediately like that because people may not be ready to hear like this. Though it is a truth, but they need little sugar-coated consolation. So a couple came and the lady told, Swamiji, we are returning back to India. My brother passed away. So I told you, see, nobody wants their loved one to die. But all of us know for certain that all of us will die one day. So it is not that something new has happened in your family. Like that story of Buddha, bring a handful of rice from the family where there is no misery or no death. So I said, what was the age? 75. I said, yeah. For today's date, 75 is not very senior age, we can say, but 75 years, he or she, he has lived 75 years. Secondly, think little wider sense that this death is not end of him. After certain days or certain time, whatever, he will go for his further journey. By the time you do his 1 year Shraddha, he is already born in somebody's family. So don't hold on to this. Was a temporary form. Then slowly you take to Vedanta. The truth is different. So understanding is necessary. Any kind of physical or a mental pain or agony can be resolved with discrimination. Emotion has its own place, but emotion has to be directed. Emotion has to be logically accepted. So one who is not depressed in misery, one who has found the way to be free from that. If you don't have idea, then you go to physical, then doctor, or mental, then psychologist or psychiatrist, and get rid of this pain. Though time is a big healer, if no treatment is done, after a few times, the clean surface, as Ramakrishna says, I went to the pond, it was covered with algae, I removed it. So clean water I could see. Again, in sometimes waves came and again surface was covered. In the same way, people feel misery, unconsolable, keeps on crying. The same person after 10 days is again busy in enjoying the world. One of our very senior Swamiji used to say that who knows it better than the doctor that in this body there is only blood, bones, filth. But how many doctors have vairagya with this body? It is not to know physically, but it is to be discriminated within. So idea is this: one who is not depressed because of misery, sukheshu vigata spriha, and when some enjoyment comes, the common psychology is that we desire that our enjoyment will multiply. Once I got happiness, you try to get it second, third, fourth time. When we say many times, oh, I am very much disturbed, we are not disturbed only because of pain. We are disturbed because of pleasure also. That which takes away your equilibrium, that which takes away the balance of your mind, that which keeps you away from that poise, is all disturbance, whether it is pleasure or pain. In sukha and dukkha, what both these do is, they take away the mind from its equilibrium. What is equilibrium? Then you can quietly sit down, repeat the name of God and meditate. That's a fixed state of mind. Then there is a pain, so your mind got diverted. Then there is a happiness, so your mind got diverted. So, if pain diverts your mind, say left side, happiness diverts it to the right side. Eventual result is the same, that your mind is not in balance, your mind is not poised, your mind is not able to concentrate or meditate. This is sukha dukkha. You cannot avoid. You take one, you have to take the second. So Sri Krishna says, Dukkheshu anudvignamana, one whose mind is not perturbed or disturbed because of pain. One whose mind is not deviated because of pleasure. And one who is free from raga, bhaya and krodha. Many people say, oh, in the Vedas we read, in the Puranas we read, oh, like Durvasa and Vishwamitra, even this great rishi had so much anger. How you justify their anger? I say, an angry person also could be a rich person. An angry person At this point of time, he is angry. Not that he is angry all the time. Many times he is angry. Anger, in cases of Rishis, Durvasa and others, if you see the complete picture, it was his role to be angry. That's what? He was angry. He acted as if he was angry. Many times we get angry to the voice. Then again I go to my room and I read my book. I'm not disturbed because I was acting as if I'm angry. There's a difference. So if your role is to be angry, we were a long time before when I joined, we were a very senior Swamiji at that time. He used to be always angry because he used to look after the construction work and all this. So laborers will come very angry. So it was Swamiji, all the time if you are working, supervising these workers, and you are angry on them, it's not good for you. I act as if I am angry. Inside I do japa. That is my language, that's my style of speaking. I know, I am not angry, I am acting as if I am angry. Because if I am not, they will not hear. So to make them understand, I shout. So there is a difference. So, Vita Raga. Raga is not Krodha. In Bengali, Raga is Krodha. No, Raga is attachment. Raga and Dvesha, attachment and aversion. So, one who doesn't have attachment, all our problem comes out of attachment. Love is not a problem. Love was never a problem. The problem is attachment. So you say how to discriminate between love and attachment, how to know whether mine is love or mine is attachment. Love is a sacrifice. When you feel happy by sacrificing whatever you have for the sake of beloved is love. Attachment is when your love begets unhappiness, when your love begets pain or misery. Attachment is that. Love and concern was never bad. Attachment is bad. And this, people have to discriminate within themselves whether what I have is love or attachment. And there is only school in which you can learn it. So one who is free from attachment, who is free from fear. What fear we can give it? Oh, he is a great man, so he can go to the tiger. Not from that point of view. Fear means what? Fear of what? There are two kinds of fear. Fear of losing something and fear of getting something. None of us want to get COVID positive. Is a fear. Again, not to get is a fear. Oh, I expect this to happen. It doesn't happen. That is fear. So again, eventually, it's a desire. It's a desire to get or desire not to get. That makes us fearful. Expectation makes you fearful. There are so many words casually we use in our language. In Kathopanishad there is a spoken of Asha Pratiksha. Asha and Pratiksha. Asha means expectation. I hope it will rain. Pratiksha is you know that is going to happen, so I am waiting. Asha is not waiting. Asha is expecting. I think so, I hope so. And Pratiksha, both we are supposed to be free from. In short, that which takes away your mind, the best practice is for us, from very, very practical point of view, the best practice is that all the great people have told is to repeat the name of God. You know what repeating name of God has to do with all this? No. How you understand that you are deviated? How you understand that your sukha or dukkha has deviated your mind? Unless you decide that I want to keep my mind here, then deviation you can understand. If you don't have any ideal, You don't understand that your fall and rise also you don't understand because you don't have an ideal. So this ideal is this, that I want to keep my mind focused. When that focus is disturbed, that means I am affected by that. People do spiritual practice from this point of view. You don't need to be a big monk or a big tapasvi to do that. Many great people in political field, I feel many times that he was a householder, he was in politics, but what a kind of poisonous it was. How mind was fixed. I am talking about gentlemen, most of you should know, for Sardar Patel. If you see his life, he was a lawyer. So while the case is going on, the peon or the attendant comes and hands over a small piece of paper. He looked at the paper, kept it and continued. The case was over. Then he sat down and a small tear flowed from his eye. So immediately somebody came and told, "Sir, anything happened?" "No, it's okay." "No, but we see that your eyes are wet and you are crying." "No, while the case was going on, the attendant gave me a slip that my wife has passed away." But it did not disturb his process. How much control will be there is not suppressing control, but it is sublimating control. Control is already there in his system. Once he is free, then reaction took place. This is a true story. There was a great Pandit who used to come and teach monks the Upanishads or scholarly subjects. So for 2 hours he talked about Vedanta. After the class was over and he was given some tea or something, at that time the Swami saw that the Panditji is crying. So he said, "Did we do any mistake?" He said, "No, I am seeing the greatness of Vedanta." "What is that?" "For 2 hours I kept on thinking the truth that the world is unreal. And I am speaking that Vedanta to you. But as soon as the class is over, as if the whole cloud has covered me again, and the world started becoming real to me, in that real world, I remembered that my daughter has passed away today morning. But when I was talking about Vedanta, this world was unreal for me. But as soon as it is over, my identification started. And I remember, my goodness, I have to rush back. My daughter has passed away today morning. Master Mahashaya always written the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna was writing. So when Swami used to go and see him, because he is the person who has seen Sri Ramakrishna so closely. So the Swami visited him from, old houses, you have 2 doors, one to go upstairs and one where the families and ladies stay and all that. So he went upstairs and saw a lot of noises coming from below. Everything okay? No. You hear the part of Kathamrita which I have written. No, but sir, there is so much noise. Yeah. Noise is there. My daughter passed away. Daughter has passed away and Master Mahashaya is explaining the Gospel pages which he has written latest from his notes. So, these are the examples for us that unless you have something to fix your mind, then only you can understand that it is deviated. Take an example. If your calculation says that I must have this much income from my business, then only you can say whether you are in loss or you are in profit. But if you don't have any calculation, you don't know the stock, you don't know the account, eventually you don't know whether you are in loss or profit. In the same way, to know in our personal spiritual life whether we are running at loss or we are advancing in spiritual life is possible only when you are fixing your mind. You are trying to keep your mind fixed in your ideal, in your mantra, in your ishta, whichever way. Then only you can know whether you are deviating or not. So we take up next. Next Saturday we don't have class. I am going to Chennai tomorrow. I will be coming back on Sunday morning, so Sunday class we have. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanam.